Hey everybody, and welcome back. So today's episode is all about Harmstead, episode 3. We got a lot in plan for it, a lot in store for you. I think it's going to be really fun. So definitely stay tuned, and let's get on with the intro and on to the time lapse. Alright everybody, so this is Harmstead episode 3 where we worked on some houses, some fields, and a mill that was a whole lot more trouble than it should have been. If you haven't been around for the streams, we've been heavily working on completing Harmstead as well as working on Acelong, and I have a very good feeling the community is going to be blown away with what we've done. There is a huge amount of detail and world building that is currently in the works, including a new religion to Elmore called the Loggers. Now I'll touch base on them in later videos, but the simple theme is that they have a wood obsession and praise the elder wood gods. Now it's definitely something unique, so stay tuned for more incoming episodes. Now as for this particular video, Harmstead is about 90% complete right now, and I couldn't be more happy about it. This project has been extremely relaxing and peaceful, and I think that simple little village that we've built here really adds a thematic element to the world of Elmore. It's not a village of great importance, but there are sinister elements at play here, and I can't wait to dive deep into that with you in the next 1 to 2 episodes. Now I don't want to spoil the lore with this episode because it's just kind of relaxing and chill, so I'm going to wait for the next one to hit you with it because it kind of ties everything together and it's really going to put the whole thing into perspective for you. Now, it's time to get to really fun and kind of boring stuff. If you like the channel, the content, and what I do, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and commenting below. I'm going to link the Discord and my Patreon below in case you want to join our ever-growing community, and also if you would like to help support me financially. Now, this is not necessary, and please never feel obliged or obligated or anything to give, but it would help while I continue to search for a job in this crazy world we live in. Everyone's got bills to pay. I'm just doing the same thing. Now, I won't go on and on about that, so here's a little bit of music. I'll meet you again for the walkthrough, and let's get on with Harmstead episode 3, because I think you're really going to like it. It's going to be pretty cool. Alright everybody, so I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I hope you enjoyed what we're doing here in Harmstead, but as you can see, we are here in the middle of the square, essentially around the pond, and you can see the 3 new houses that we built, and I'm going to get around to the fields and everything else as we go along, but let's explore this area just a little bit here. So once again, you have the pond, this was in the first episode, we have this as the second episode, and now we're moving on to this third episode, and I want to show you a little bit of details around these houses. So as you can see, of course we have a fence, we have some basic stuff going on, but the most important thing is of course the interiors, because that is the one thing that I feel like I struggle with. So I'm really trying to go above and beyond and make some really cool interiors. So as you can see in the first one, we have this nice little weird diagonal type home. It is structured very differently, but I really like the way it came out. So right off the bat, we have just a few small beds, and we have a little bit of detail. We have this beautiful roof with these wood supports, which is a mix of essentially like spruce logs and stripped spruce logs, or tarred spruce logs, something like that. But you can see here we have the kitchen table. We have the kitchen itself, and it's very similar to all the other homes. The design and the style is pretty consistent throughout all the builds, but I still think it comes across pretty good. We have like a small little like pantry cabinet area here. We have the kitchen, and of course we have, once again, the kitchen table, some nightstands, a little game of Gwent hanging out right there, and just kind of all-round basic home. So I won't spend too much time on all of these because I kind of want you to see it all and not have this walkthrough be extremely long. But after we leave this first house, you can see we have some moss more so growing on the side that faces the water. On the backside, we have a little bit, but not too much. And it makes sense because more of the moisture and the wind within this valley would be slapping this side of the roof, making it a little bit more or less moisture resistant. And that's the most important thing, to add a little bit of detail. Now, this next small home is exactly that. It's a small home, and it's a small home for orphans. So if you watch the stream, we make jokes about people, trying to go into the water there and try to pull out that rare and precious plant. Well, some of them drown, and their kids, are orphans. So I made this small little orphan's house. Obviously, we got 6 beds, so there's a good bit of them. They have a few games of Gwent here. They're just kind of making the best out of their, little lives. And, that's pretty much that. It's a beds, a candle, some games of Gwent, and a few chests full of clothes. That's literally all they have. They're orphans after all. Now, moving on down, you can also see here we have the third house. And I try to add a little bit more detail into this, so you can see we have the barrels and everything underneath this walkway. And of course, we have like a small little area for bathing and rinsing off. But moving on up, let's go straight on inside. And this house is a little bit more spacious to a degree. So we definitely have all of the beds and the dressers and everything like that here. We do have some plants hanging up to dry in the middle of it. And of course, we have the basic kitchen. Like I said, it is very similar. The themes are the same going through all the houses. They're not that different. They're not very spruced up, but this is what we have. So it's kind of a smaller little home. So like I said, it's a little bit more spacious in a sense. It's kind of like an open floor plan, which I guess works pretty well for all of this. But this is the third house, and once again we added an additional mossy blocks to the front and pretty much no mossy blocks to the back. Okay, so coming down the pathway, we are going to go straight on into the fields, and I'll just kind of give you a basic overview of that. So we wind down this beautiful path here across all the houses that we've already made, and what we would do, or what the people in Harmstead would do, is they would go down here, go up this little path, and this is the farming area. So here we have barley, which is a pretty major export for Harmstead, and you can see they have plenty of it. So we have a whole field here, we have a whole second field right here, and then lastly we have a giant field of hemp. Now this was also in the stream because hemp, apparently the people of Harmstead like it. It is, though barley is their major export besides that rare plant, well, hemp is their actual favorite plant. So there you have it. You can see here the field, rest of it is kind of barren. I will get to decorating that with some more trees and grass, but as of right now, we just have 3 major crop fields here. And considering that it is a smaller village, it works just fine. Now we did build this bridge as well, added a little bit of detail there, but mainly we're just going to cross over this bridge, and this is going to be the actual watermill. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll check out this bottom floor first, and going on in, you can see it's an extremely small, cramped space. It's not meant for living, it's just meant for work. Now, I tried my best to make this actually like realistic with the wheels. So like technically the watermill would turn the barrels, which would turn these wheels, which would turn the grindstone upstairs. And what we'll do is we'll go on out and we'll take a look at that. And going up these small little stairs here, you can see the actual mill house where they would actually do it. So this is my version of a grindstone. Shout out to RC Games for having patience with me and Lunar Lotus. I had no idea how to do this, so we kind of just tried to figure something out as best as we could, and I think it came out really amazing. I mean, we have the grindstone right here, which is just a stone texture slapped on top of some andesite, and like I said, I think it looks really, really cool. Definitely works. Once again, small area, a little bit of storage. Love the supports on the roof. I think it looks really, really cool. But that is essentially the watermill, and what we'll do is let me show you a little bit of the wheel itself. Once again, shout out to RC Games. He helped me out with this. The spokes on this were kind of a challenge, but we ended up doing pretty good with it, and I couldn't be more pleased and happy about how it came out. It's definitely a unique looking water wheel, but I think it really just adds to it. And of course, I added some extra detail here along the bed of the river. You can see here we have plenty of rocks. We have some vegetation under the water. I also did all of this here as well. Just try to make it lush and fertile and beautiful all in the same token. So that's pretty much this video and the builds that are in it. Now we do have a few more builds that we're going to put up along this pathway here. So we're probably going to have 1, 2, 3 more buildings kind of lining up this area. And that's about it. And then of course, if you follow this road, you can see here we have the Sweaty Badger, and then I'm building roads off to all the other cities. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot, but it's going to be a fun little adventure here. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't had a chance to check out the live streams, definitely watch those replays. Even though the chat doesn't show up, it's still kind of interesting to see the build process and how I get all this done. We've been working on Acelung a lot, so there's going to be a few more Acelung episodes coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah. That's pretty much it. So thanks again for watching the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button, comment below what you'd like to see next. And I'm also going to put in the Discord and the Patreon link if you'd like to support me financially. That would be great, although it is not required. And definitely join the Discord for a great community. So this is, of course, The Legendary Porpoise signing off. I hope all of you have a good day and happy gaming.